Marcus Burnett here on the microphone. Got the pleasure of bringing you the West Virginia Thunder and their matchup versus the Indy Lady Gym Rats, the Silver Edition. Appreciate you joining us here on SUV TV. It's been a great weekend as always here at the Midwest Showdown. Coach J.B. Bethea and his staff do a great job here with the event each year. This is going to be the 5th place game. Really speaks of the talent here in this elite division when you look at two solid programs like this that are here in the 5th place game. So we are underway. Indy Lady Gym Rats come away with the first possession. Three-pointer on the way. Good to go from the top of the key. Our first points of the game are scored by number 2, Dana Evans, who gets 3 on the board there for the Lady Gym Rats. Rebound going to be pulled out of there. Here comes the Indy squad the other way. Pass inside, Forsman got a little bit too deep there under the rim. Let her, but just a little bit too far there on that play. Shayna Harmon with it now for West Virginia Thunder. She'll kick it over to McCutcheon. The talent speaks for itself as far as the players involved in this game, but two of the better coaches that you'll find here in this event and across the country on the travel circuit, and Scott Johnson for West Virginia and Danny Riego for the Indy Lady Gym Rats. That floater is going to be partially blocked by Burris. She picks up the pieces and gets it to McCutcheon. Harmon up top to Burris. They'll set it up. Now they'll try to get it inside to Eisenman. Jackie Young has other plans as she steals it, comes the other way. That three-point attempt's off the mark. West Virginia will bring it back. Burris able to get behind the defense and get the easy layup as a result. Burris makes it 3-2. Pass inside there to Forsman. Couldn't hold on to it, hot potato. Barrier can't get the layup to go either. Not only are both of these teams getting loose, you look at the toll that it can take, and when you look at the number of games that they play over these past couple days. Easy layup on the inside there for Ariana Harris. Assisted by Young. That'll make it 5-2, but these young ladies, this will be their 3rd game here today. No slouches in any of those matchups, so you can imagine it might take a little while to get the legs stimulated or rejuvenated, however you want to look at it. Harris looks like she's got enough spring in her step, but she goes up high to get that one. She's fouled and will go to the line to shoot 2. Harris committed to Purdue University. Misses the first free throw. No good on the second, so an empty trip there to the free throw line. 5-3 is your score. Harmon keeps that one inbounds. Now she'll get it to Eisenman. Eisenman to Barrier. Barrier leaves it just short. You look at Barrier in the airport test, might tell you she's a post player on the inside, but don't let her size fool you. Very versatile player. Actually plays some point guard for her high school team. Number 15 there in the white jersey, so can do a lot of things here for Coach Johnson and the Thunder. Left that last layup short, but Thunder retain possession. 12 minutes, 36 seconds left to play here in the first half. Harmon over the outstretched arm of Harris. Eisenman with the rebound, and the helmet and lunch pail bucket inside. That'll make it 5-5. Evans and McCutcheon. That'll be a fun point guard matchup to watch throughout this one. There's a three-pointer on the way. Layup drill from the outside. Carissa McLaughlin. I know that was a three-pointer, not a layup. Just a figure of speech for how easy of a shot that is for McLaughlin. She had a cluster of threes in the victory over Michigan crossover in order to be able to make it to this matchup. First time we called her three-pointer here in this game. More likely than not, it won't be the last. Barrier can't get the layup to go. Not happy with herself on that one. Lady Jim Rats pushes the other way. Here's Evans. Plenty of time on the 30-second shot clock. McCutcheon gets the steal. Very solid defender for the Thunder. Has great hands as Burris is able to knock that one down. Falls hard into the chair behind her, but shakes it off, gets back on defense after hitting that triple. Another stop by the Thunder. Here's Harmon. Thunder defeated team takeover out of the DMV area to get here. Barrier skies for the rebound. She's going to have it blocked by Forsman. Sticks with it, though. Not an easy game to get a rebound in when you look at the size inside as well as the motors involved. Harris, Eisner, and Barriers battling in there. Forsman. Baseline drive by McLaughlin. Can't get the layup to go. Made a good move. McLaughlin made a good move down that last play. Kind of sold the pass there. Was able to create an open lane for herself. Couldn't get the layup to go as we'll have substitutions on both sides. Number 0, Cameron Onken in for Indy Lady Gem Rats, as well as number 15, Ariel Scott. Michelle Johnson, Sydney Holloway, and Sarah Price are in for the Thunder. Taryn McCutcheon gets her first three-pointer of the game there. The Michigan State commit, solid stroke from the outside. Leadership from the point guard position. Good sign for Coach Johnson to see her get going here. 12 seconds on the shot clock for the Gem Rats. Turning the corner but having it blocked by Holloway. There was Scott. Nice defense by Holloway. Was not only able to block it, but directly off of Scott. It'll be West Virginia Thunder's ball. 9 minutes, 48 seconds left to play here in the first half. McCutcheon, she's already got one three-pointer. Splashes her second one through there. And makes it 13-8. Scott with the floater, too strong, off the back of the rim. McCutcheon tips it out of there. Now it's in the hands of Holloway. Holloway takes a quick two, didn't wait too long in the shot clock. That was the Mike D'Antoni style of offense there. Get a shot up within 5-7 seconds or less. She knocks it down, makes it a 15-8 ball game in the process. That jumper won't go down. Sarah Price with the rebound. McCutcheon ahead to Holloway, who was able to find herself by her lonesome, but can't get the layup to go. Young over to McLaughlin, who's checked back in. SWAT team called by Sydney Holloway as she rejects that one the other way. Now it's in the hands of Johnson. Johnson hesitates, then rocks it over to the left hand. Casey Hall gets it back to Johnson. McCutcheon gonna try a deeper three. Misses that one, but as you can see, she's gotten a little bit of a rhythm going here early on in this one. Also not shy about taking that shot. Can be a go-getter on the offensive end, even though you really see this Thunder team play within themselves and move the ball around. Gonna have a trip to the free throw line here for Cameron Onken. Gets the first free throw to go. Each team has its own identity, its own style of play. You always know going into a game that features the Gym Rats and or the Thunder, a certain quality of play. Both coaches really focus on kind of, developing and also enhancing the basketball IQ of their players. So you got players that can not only be able to follow the lead of their coaches, but can really be able to see the game through a well-versed lens when it comes to hoops. At the end of the day, the players are the ones that have to make the adjustments on court and at times be the coach on the floor. Both of these teams do a great job of that, and that reflects the administration from the top down. 11-15 after that layup there by the Gym Rats. They force another turnover. Onken gets it to Evans, who does the rest. Evans is just a blur going to the rack there as she speeds in for the bucket. (13-15). 6 minutes, 30 seconds and counting left to play in this one. Risky cross-court pass, too tall for Holloway. Courtney Eisenman, number 32 for West Virginia, checks back into the game. Sarah Price will have a seat. Evans gonna try the two-pointer. Off the mark. Harris goes up for the rebound, but it's Barrier that comes away with it. Pass inside to Burris. First attempt, no good. Second attempt, in and out of there. Harris says there will not be a third as she snatches the rebound out of the air. Gets it in the hands of Evans. Evans giving a lot of room there. Off of that screen, she gets it over to Onken. There's a three-pointer on the way. No good there by Scott. Barrier looking to push. Gonna have it knocked out of bounds. So it will stay with the Thunder. It'll be their ball there along the baseline. Harmon inbounds the ball. Casey Hall with the step back. Heads up play there in the corner. As Ariel Scott is able to get to it and throw it off the leg of Hall, it will be the Gym Rats' possession. Evans brings it across. Working on Hall. Easy crossover and finish inside. That's what we like to call easy money. There on the court, she ties the game, making it 15-15. Harmon on the drive. Able to just get by Harris. and be able to avoid that long reach. Harris is no stranger to having a block party. Harmon able to avoid it there, gives West Virginia Thunder a 2-point advantage. 4 minutes, 38 seconds, and counting here in the first half. Harris is going to roll. She'll be cut off by a barrier. Eisenman with the rebound. It's that kind of combination inside, that rebounding and defense that allowed them to get the victory over Team Takeover in the game prior to this one. Eisenman and barrier, two key pieces on the inside there. Harmon trying to get back-to-back buckets there. That one won't stay down. Here's Evans coming the other way. Gets from point A to point B very quickly. She'll have that one knocked away. Here comes Harmon. She'll drop it off to Hall. Hall does the rest. (15-19). Is the score. 3 minutes, 40 seconds, and counting. Evans with it there. Goes opposite the Harris screen. So she will go to the line to shoot two. Special guest joining us here in the broadcast booth. None other than Brandon Clay. Jet lag all over the guy. The guy's been jet setting the past couple days. Appreciate you staying stagnant for a second, man, and touching base with us here at the Midwest Showdown.
Hey, no problem. This is definitely a staple of the coverage calendar. JB Bethea does a great job with it, and anytime you get to come in from Colorado and Minnesota and you're greeted to this type of basketball, it's exciting and definitely a good time. Great way to spend Memorial Day weekend.
It's a 17-19 game, 2-point advantage for the Thunder, making the most out of their Memorial Day weekend here in the 5th place game. But they've gotten some quality wins en route to this matchup along with the Gym Rats.
Well, that's a great move there. You see Burris on the interior going to go get it. And that's one of the things that we talked to her about at Super 64 camp a couple summers ago is, not relying on just being able to make open shots, but being willing to attack the rim, attack the backboard, be able to attack the basketball coming off of it, and you see her do that. She's had a great day so far.
Good on the first free throw. She makes it 20-17. Second one bounces in and out. Won't stay down 4. 3-point advantage for the Thunder. We approach the 3-minute mark.
Well, and this is the type of game that we thought we would see from both of these teams, coming off of the earlier matchup. Had a chance to watch both of those games. Marcus, you were with me. And just to see the play, a lot of set stuff being run, but plays made in transition as well. Just see McCutcheon with the basketball.
Miscommunication there. She throws that one out of bounds. We can talk about both of these teams, and the words of Denny Green, they are who we thought they were as far as what we've come to expect from them. This has been a good game, quick flowing. And I know we're going to have a good second half, but we're bringing the first half to a close as we're at the 2-minute and 40-second mark.
Oh, it'll be interesting as we start to peek ahead into the second half. You see the nice kick there by Evans. Who has it left in the tank? Third game of the day for each team. Can Jackie Young, who is, a top 10 kid in her class, in 16, Notre Dame commit already. Can she show us here that, when you start talking about Naismith Trophy Player of the Year and some of those types of things, that stuff starts right now. So this is a great opportunity for Young on this stage to do it. And you've seen McCutcheon already be really productive on the other side for West Virginia Thunder.
Big reason why they have that 3-point advantage. 3 has been a good number for her. She's got 2 triples here in the first half already. Dana Evans brings it across. Evans gonna try a deep 3 of her own. Can't get the shot to go. She started off the game with a 3-pointer from the top of the key, misses that one.
Well, and I like her confidence there. You look at where that shot was from, probably about the 25-foot mark. You'd like to get it more around that 21-22 line, as you're gonna see Burris decide not to take that one. And now McCutcheon takes an Evans-like 3 there from 25-26.
Barrier, again, showing off that versatility. She can be able to set the offense up for you, or she can go inside helmet and lunch pail with the rebound.
Well, she made a couple of plays earlier in the half that were great basketball plays. Ball just didn't fall for her. So being able now to get it on the board and start to get it rolling. And then you see her defend on the interior of Forsman. Nice high-low game there, post-entry for the Gym Rats.
Forsman makes it a three-point game there with that score. Love the size, the variety of matchups that you get, whether it's guard play, wing play, or inside.
No question. Burris with a triple there. Big shot. When you see, I mean, the coaching dynamics are so great. You know, you're watching Scott Johnson, who's up into every play, and Danny Riego, the veteran over there, little hand on his chin, just taking it all in, man. Almost that Phil Jackson flow, man. You know, sitting there calling the Zen master.
Very zen, man. Very zen. He gives the Dos Equis guy a run for his money, man.
That's a cool cat, man.
19-25 is your score. Under 40 seconds. Barrier the elbow jumper long, but she gets the second chance opportunity with her own rebound. Two for a dollar sale, and she knocks down the second one on the jumper.
Well, and Lexi's a kid that has played herself as, you know, we talk about prospectsnation.com, you know, into our Elite 100 rankings discussion. You know, definitely has the versatility of the game. And when she's playing like this, you know, with this energy and the skill set, the ability to make the shots that she's making right now, you know, she's as good as any 20 wing forwards in the country.
That one short by McLaughlin. And that is going to do it for the first half. We appreciate you joining us here on SUV TV as we take a look at a couple of the top plays there from the first half.
When you see the action right here, nice double screen situation. McCutcheon with her feet set. Bang, she shot that one all the way from East Lansing. Shouts to Michigan State.
McCutcheon can really shoot it, as she showed there in the first half.
Well, and we'll touch base on this a little bit. Able to find their collegiate home early, you know, allows you to change your focus a little bit, not to become unfocused and go sit down somewhere. Both of those kids are playing in this game tonight, but your focus does change, and it should. You know, so now you know what the kids look like who are there on campus. They're bigger than me, they're stronger than me. How do I negate that, or how do I even the playing field going in? You go ahead and make sure you get it done. Here's another set. You see Evans with the basketball up high. The great attack, seeing what's coming. Nobody cuts her off. Veteran move from the underclassman as she attacks the rim for the finish with the left hand.
So we'll take a quick break. Stick here with us on SUV TV. Marcus Burnett, he's Brandon Clay. We'll have the second half of the West Virginia Thunder versus the Gym Rats here after this short break. And we're seconds away from starting the second half. Appreciate you joining us here for this matchup here in the platinum bracket at the Midwest Showdown. Marcus Burnett joined by Brandon Clay as we're moments away from getting the second half started. Brandon, some of the key elements you'll be looking for here in the second half.
Well, I think Young's got to get going. Point blank for the Gym Rats, when you have a player of her talent level and her scoring ability, you talk about all the points that she's amassed during her high school career to date in Indiana. Over 1,000 points this season alone. You expect her to be able to put the ball in the hole. And so I do think that that's something that you have to look for, her picking her spots. I actually was sitting with team takeover director Ron James just before this game, and we were talking about that very thing and Young's ability to do that. And then I think on West Virginia's side, just continue to make shots. They got rolling. As you see the nice set call coming here out of the halftime, trying to get an easy basket. But if they could continue to make shots, and they did it from different positions, Eisenman being one, McCutcheon, Burris hit something. So, I think Young getting going and Harris getting going for the Gym Rats. And then on West Virginia's end, just continuing to make shots.
Well, Young coming out aggressive there on that play. Unfortunately for her, Eisenman had other plans and she blocked that one away. Barrier gets the step, kicks it to the corner for Harmon.
And this thing, you watch, these kids have played together so long. The core group, McCutcheon, Barrier, and Shayna Harmon, who's chosen Akron for her future school, and that three out of the corner. And she's just so skilled. That's one of the notes that I took, actually, as I was sitting watching her, just charting her improvement and evaluations. We see her with the ball here in the open floor, Marcus.
That was going to be knocked out of bounds. Good hustle there by Evans. We saw really this same group here 2 years ago. Talked about it with Coach Hemme on the mic on Saturday. Saw this same group in the Elite Division, took their lumps, was able to use it to get better. Now we see them 2 years later making their mark.
Well, and they've done a good job. Scott Johnson has done what Scott Johnson does, which is continue to add quality pieces that fit what they're doing. You look at a Courtney Eisenman as an addition, Gabby Burris, number 41. Oh, and there's McLaughlin. That kid can really shoot it, Marcus. She shot it great there on the other floor as we watched her. Already picked up a couple of offers as a result, and we expect to see more and more for the 2017 guard there from Indiana.
Makes it a 22-31 game after knocking that one down. Turnover. Harris gets it. Now it's in the hands of Evans.
Well, it's interesting. They'll come back, and we talked about the emergence of this West Virginia group, or evolution, should I say. As you see the nice post feed there from Dana Evans. And you'll see that next year for Danny Rago's Gym Rats team, where you have McLaughlin and Evans back in the backcourt. Ariel Scott, number 15, is a 2018, so she'll have 2 more summers with Riego. So a lot of room for this group to grow, even though they've got some great pieces in the 16 class, not to mention Lindsay Corsaro, who isn't here, who's been out with an injury, but should be back in time for July.
Best wishes there on that recovery. Talented player, better kid, as we talked about earlier in our production meeting.
No question. I had the opportunity to speak with her father, Greg. Like I said, they were shooting for, a timetable there of late June, with hopes of a July return. But, won't push it. Already going to Kentucky, is verbally committed there and is staying solid with that. So we'll take their time and make sure she comes back right, and we're glad to hear it.
Now Barrier has it up top. Steps inside the perimeter, can't get that shot to go. Harmon's gonna pull it out of there for another opportunity. Fresh shot clock. Burris nearly stolen there by Evans. But the Thunder still have it. 15 seconds to work with on the shot clock. Harmon can't get her second three-pointer of the second half there. Evans chases down the long rebound. She's off to the races. And one.
That's tough, man. Her ability end to end. I actually watched her at a high school event earlier this year in January up in Chicago area. And her ability to get up and down the floor is crazy. You see her pushing the tempo, and everybody else is moving. You see McCutcheon try to slide in the way. Not much she can do. The hoop, the harm, and the basket.
26-31 is your score. Back end of the three-point play is good to go as well.
Well, and again, for the Gym Rats, you've been able to do this from an offensive production standpoint while you're waiting on Young. So you've been able to get Evans, McLaughlin, Forsman a minute ago. You've gotten some production from some different places. You know, Young has done a good job defensively grabbing rebounds and being a presence in that way. But offensively, she hadn't gotten it going yet. So you're waiting. Oh, you don't have to wait too long.
Making it happen. Ears must have been burning on that play as she takes it coast to coast and scores it off the glass.
Well, she's so talented, Marcus. Her ability to make plays in the open floor like that. They run some flat screen action. I'm sure they'll get into it at some point where she even plays the point guard. And, you know, Danny was talking about it before the game, just transitioning. You know, they added her for this season. And just finding ways to get her involved efficiently. You know, she's not somebody that's going to be a volume shooter, volume scorer. So they've got to pick their spots on when to run those things and get her involved.
Brandon, you talked. You made a point earlier in the game about being able to add, you know, pounds to your frame and in a way that's productive for you. Talk about Young in that aspect of her game.
Incredible. She's probably added, I would say, 10 to 12 pounds of muscle to her frame, much like we talked about, you know, with a McCutcheon. You know, just changing their bodies, continuing to grow and develop. And it's allowed Young to take the contact. As you saw a minute ago, great move there by Evans to finish it. You know, when Evans naturally has the shoulders that Young has had to work on in the weight room, you know, you see the ability from her to finish with that contact. So for Young, adding that, because she's got that height and that length, she really can play now the 1 through the 3 offensively, guard the 1 through the 3 defensively, and potentially even maybe some 4 if Muffet McGraw wants to go small at Notre Dame for any reason in some spots and play Young even in the pinch post and let her score and operate from there.
Sounds like a lot of utility there for Coach Muffet McGraw and the Notre Dame program. Getting a good one there.
Well, it's interesting. Normally when you talk about that type of versatility, you're talking about a kid that's going to serve as a secondary scorer. Whereas with Young, you're getting that type of versatility and possibly a kid that's going to be your 1 or 2 scorer for the majority of her career.
2 subs in for the Thunder. Sarah Price and Sydney Holloway checking into the game. McCutcheon can't get that 3-pointer to go, but Price gets the rebound.
Sarah Price has to be one of my favorite kids in the 16 class for reasons like what she just did. Ball comes off long, is able to save the possession, get her hands on it. Now sitting at the free throw line, has the ability to knock that 15-footer down and can score it around the rim if need be. Great shot by Barrier at the top of the key, Marcus.
Barrier cashes in, making that Sarah Price offensive rebound. A productive possession there for the Thunder. And it's 34-31. They now have a 3-point advantage. 11 minutes and counting here in the second half.
Well, the more shots you can get on goal, the better, you know. So anytime you can save a possession, you want to be able to do that. And you force the defense to scramble at the same time as everybody tries to recover to their man.
Johnson gets it back to Barrier. Now McCutcheon, she's wide open. That one off the back of the rim.
Well, if you're Scott Johnson, that's a great shot. You know, Taryn McCutcheon, arguably one of the better shooters in the class nationwide, with an extra pass 3 in transition, as Coach Henry would say. CoachHenry.com is there. You know, not a first pass 3, but a second pass 3 to a great shooter on the wing, uncontested. Those are shots you live with.
The Jim Rats inbounded. Forsman with it at the top of the key. Now she'll get it inside. You see Young being aggressive there against Sydney Holloway.
Well, it just applies so much pressure to the defense when she does that. When she plays, you know, this way, now all of a sudden the shots get a little bit easier for Scott. The shots get a little bit easier for McLaughlin. Lane gets a little bit wider for Evans. The baseline corner jumper for Darby Forsman. All the things that their players like to do. You know, even Unken out of the corner took a couple of threes in the last game. So when she's making the game easier, it makes the game easier for everybody around her.
Easy button there at the free throw line. She makes it 33-34.
Let me tell you, I like Michelle Johnson here on the point for Scott's team. I know she plays a good bit off of it, but when she plays at the point, very different than Jackie Young in terms of the production offensively, but because she's so smart and dialed into what's going on, as you see her chase that basketball down now, it makes the game easy. They get the extra pass 3 to Barrier because she moves it early. She just does a lot of good things intangibly that don't show up on the stat sheet all the time, but get the offense moving.
Had a lot of SUV TV archives and plenty of Peach State basketball events with her sister, Michael Johnson, being a participant.
Michael Johnson over there, assistant coach of the year for Scott Johnson right now. Oh, great move.
Casey Hall gets her first points of the game, second points of the game. She had a layup there in the first half.
Good move, Unken. Well, and it's interesting, back-to-back possessions now. You know, you get Hall on one end and you get Cameron Unken on the other end. And those are kids that can get lost in the shuffle because there's so many quality players on the floor. But both of them, every single time out, bring their A game, and they're always productive. Hall, the righty, Unken, the lefty. But both of them nice off guards with the ability to make open shots, but also to be able to attack the rim when need be, as they did on those last two possessions.
And we are tied at 36. 9 minutes, 40 seconds and counting here in this one. Johnson to Price. Price to Hall. Maybe a little too unselfish there on that one. You talked about Price's ability to knock that shot down.
Well, and you said Scott Johnson immediately looks at her and says, you know, shoot it. But one of the things, and I think it's tough for kids to always be able to make that right read, is you essentially gave up one shot for the same shot. You gave up an 8 to 10 footer for another 8 to 10 footer. Anytime you would move the ball, you want to advance it. So if I give up a 12 footer, I want to be giving it up for a 4-foot uncontested layup right there at the rim, a chip shot. If I'm giving up a 12 for a 12, unless I was just double teamed or unguarded, great possession there. Goodness gracious, Jackie Young going to the post. Look at Danny Riego. Get a shot of this guy laughing on the bench with his arms crossed as he calls the set. That's the classic Danny Riego right there and Jeff Forsman. They get the perfect set called. Young converts, and they both just smile like, yeah, good call on our part.
Their most recent call makes it 36 to 38. Young putting that frame to use that you talked about earlier. Well, doing it against Sydney Holloway as well. Not a small fry on the inside.
You know, it's so hard to find players who are versatile, who can score the basketball consistently in a lot of different ways. Young can score it beyond the arc. She can score it in the mid-range, whether it's 12 to 15 feet. And then she can also go back to bucket and then be able to finish it that way when need be. Speaking of Holloway.
She earns a trip to the free throw line. Talk about some of the pieces added by Coach Johnson. Holloway's been solid for them on both ends of the floor here in this Midwest Showdown.
She just brings an activity and an energy that you can't coach. It's one of those things that either a kid has that, you know, you can help cultivate it if they have it, right, and get them to play even a little bit harder. But either they have that or they don't. You know, in Holloway's case, she's just always flying around the basketball somewhere.
Splits the pair of free throws. It's 37 to 38. 1 point advantage for the Gym Rats.
There it is, same set.
Misses the first, was in hot pursuit of the second.
It's a great loop action there. They start Young on the offside from where she comes, so left side of the floor. Nice little loop out, and immediately takes it straight to the post. So as they're getting the action with the basketball, now you see her coming, and she's gonna put herself in a position to receive that second pass. So you see here, the first swing, almost a decoy, perfect timing on when to post, and a perfect post feed, no less, from Darby Forsman, who is a post herself. So how often do you find a 6'4" interior player who can step out to 20 feet and is comfortable feeding the ball on a bounce for the play? Just great basketball.
37 to 40, 3-point advantage now for the Gym Rats. The Thunder have led for the majority of this game. Johnson's gonna take a three-pointer.
I love it, and that's a place. You talk about the development of someone's game. Michelle Johnson from almost 24 feet. That's not a shot that she would have been comfortable taking even 12 months ago. You see Young answer on the other end. Oh, rolls out on her. But Johnson's come so far in her game in that regard, and I think honestly playing without Michael this year at St. Joseph's, Michael now at Notre Dame, allowed Michelle to diversify her game a little bit more offensively.
Harmon, good move there, sold the subtle fake and was able to get the floater to go.
That was a post-type move from a slender guard there. Great footwork from Harmon, and then the nice little touch to finish it.
I tell you what, man, I don't know if you got one of those Buffalo Wild Wings earpieces in Jackie Young's ear or not as far as what you were looking for her to come and set tone-wise in the second half, but she is accomplishing.
Well, the great ones do it. You know, Crystal Dangerfield, Kentucky Premier, does it. You know, you pick your spots. Heck, Aaron Boley with Kentucky Premier. You know, you remember the game down there preseason with them versus Kurt Pointer, and Boley's spots were in the first half, and then Dangerfield went on that run right there in the middle of the second half, and Had Kayla Pointer, 2017, went on a little run of her own right there to close it out and hit the game winner. And Young has got a lot of that. We call him alpha. You know, Young's got a lot of that alpha in her, maybe not as much as some prospects, but she has all the skills. So finding a way to be able to utilize that, and honestly with her frame, a little different movement-wise, but her frame at the same stage kind of reminds me of where Maya Moore's was coming or going into her senior year. You can tell she's added the weight, she's lifted, she's done things to be able to knock down the open jumper. So you're starting to see some of that versatility pay off, and what you're seeing in the past 5 minutes is a great example.
Turnover there by the Thunder is going to give it back to the Gym Rats. 7 minutes, 26 seconds left to play here in the game. 1 point advantage for the Thunder. Back and forth, the pendulum swings. We'll see what the Gym Rats can do here on this possession. Relatively speaking, Mouse in the house there, and Young gets it done.
Well, and it's awesome. It's almost a flex cut situation without the flex screen, man. It literally just send her straight across with the movement of the basketball and then get the ball to her immediately on a post feed.
McCutcheon out to Hall. Hall, step back three. Won't go. Young with the rebound.
The scary thing is we still got championship day tomorrow, man.
No kidding.
This has a championship feel.
Trying to split through the defense, and she's fouled on the play. I believe they tagged McCutcheon with that one.
This has been great. I mean, this is literally every single possession. And credit to Danny Riego and the Gym Rats. Okay, until we can get a matchup, that stops it, we're just going to keep rolling. We're going to force that double. And then when the double comes, once again, the game's going to become easier for someone else.
Another trip to the free throw line.
But the great part is, you know, if you've been watching, you know, the NBA playoffs that are on right now, Steph Curry has 40 last night, but he also had like 9 assists. You know, so when you look at the numbers of these great players, Harden, 38, 10, and 9 the other night in the loss where he kind of tripped over himself right there at the end. Great defense to Curry and Klay Thompson. So at some point in big games, you just put the ball in your playmaker's hands and you tell him to go get it. You know, you look at football, it'd be Peyton Manning when he has those 450-yard days and 4 touchdowns and no interceptions. And this is one of those moments right now. It's a signature moment for Jackie Young that we're watching, and it forces the hand of the other team to find a way to stop her and get the ball out of her hands.
Whatever fantasy team she's on this week, they're looking good going into the head-to-head matchup.
Hey, the way things have gone in the fantasy league the past couple of years for me, it's not mine. All my players are hurt. They're all going home for the weekend, man.
42-45 is your score. 6 minutes, 19 seconds and counting.
And now it's a different action. Young on the basketball. You see Danny Riego controlling the tempo. And you see Scott Johnson almost at half court, switching it, wanting something different as you see him sit in that zone.
McLaughlin, another three-pointer from outside.
Well, and there it is now. So much attention being paid to Young inside of the zone. Now, that's a tough shot from McLaughlin. It wasn't like she was just left uncontested at 13 feet. I mean, she was 23, 24 feet away. But you get clean, open looks.
Hall trying to answer back. Off the mark, Burris. Nice positioning in the rebound. Can't get her attempt to go, but it will stay with the Thunder.
Well, that's a good possession. You go see Scott Johnson go with a little offensive substitution here as he gets Eisenman, and I'm sure there's going to be a called set. I've known him too long not to expect something special coming with this quick sub.
Harmon will inbound it. That shot's off the mark. McLaughlin with the rebound.
Well, when we talked about West Virginia needing to be able to make shots, and, you know, here's a part of the game. Nice move there by McLaughlin. Here's a piece of the game, though. They can't afford to go 2.5, 3 minutes without making shots right now, especially with the ebb and flow of the game. With Young kind of getting rolling, they're going to have to continue to make shots down the stretch.
First free throw, good by McLaughlin. Now a 7-point advantage. Lead pushed to 8 points after that trip to the line. Harmon pass intended for Eisenman. Scott Johnson arguing that it was touched by the Gym Rats on the way out, but the officials will send the ball the other way. 5 minutes, 14 seconds remaining.
Well, and this is one of those moments in the game, you talk about crunch time now, right at the 5-minute mark, you've got to find a way to manufacture points, whether it's changing the defense up, whether it's extending it to a 3-quarter. So you can do that with your defense, or you can just make shots inside of your half-court offense, but you've got to find a way right now to change the pace of this game and to get yourself an easy look or two.
Barrier gets it ahead to McCutcheon. McCutcheon with the hot potato pass over to Hall. Harmon going to take the elbow jumper. It's off the mark. Harris with the rebound.
It's just, I mean, you know, in the past 3 minutes of gameplay, nothing they've taken has fallen. That's not a bad shot from Shayna Harmon. A one-bounce pull-up from that kid. Scott Johnson's going to live with that all day. It just doesn't drop.
I remember a big game winner on SUV TV at, can't remember exactly which PSB event, but knocked down by Harmon in a clutch situation with the clock running out. Definitely a shot she can hit. They force a shot clock violation. That's good for momentum.
It is, and again, you have to find a way, whether it's manufactured stops. I like the substitution here for a second to get Michelle Johnson in. That's another kid that can kind of change the pace defensively even and maybe halt somebody 3/4 of the length of the floor. But you've got to find a way right now to manufacture a clean shot attempt, and you needed to go in.
Speaking of clean shot attempts, we take a look at some of the smooth shooting from both teams.
And this is what we talked about. You see Barrier with it wide open. The ability to knock down that shot from the top of the key only adds to her skill set as she takes her career on to Virginia Tech.
That was earlier the shot from Barrier, but we've seen the young lady here in this shot be able to knock it down. As you see Scott Johnson trying to get his team to make the adjustment, but it's too late.
Hey, McLaughlin's going to make you pay for that one all day long. Scott knew what was coming. I haven't seen Scott get up that high. I've known him about 6 years, man. He was excited on that one.
4 minutes, 14 seconds remaining in this game. Thunder trailing by 8. You hit the nail on the head when you said this one had a championship game feel.
It does, and the ebb and the flow of it all. You know, you look at the punch, counter punch stuff. I thought it was interesting, if you notice, Dana Evans and Forsman have been sitting for a good while there on the Gym Rat bench. You see them now with a little run and jump 2-3, just enough to throw them coming out of the timeout. Threw off what Scott Johnson had designed. Everything he designed for was not for a run and jump 2-3. So veteran move there from Danny Riego, even though it does result in the foul on the dead ball here on the side.
McCutcheon splits through the defense barrier.
On the way she shoots that, I don't know that you don't want that shot if you're Scott Johnson. You know, with Lexi Barrier with 2 feet set, I don't know that we don't want her taking that.
Have a foul there as Johnson went to the floor to get it. I believe that's going to go against Ariel Scott.
You know, Scott definitely one to keep an eye on coming out of the day. 2018 grad. Again, shots just won't drop. Good shot there from McCutcheon. Feet set, 23, 24 feet. That's what you look for.
That one's just stuck there, but they're able to kick it out. McLaughlin just off the front of the rim and have a jump ball situation. It'll be the Thunders there, or the Gym Rats there along the baseline.
Great D there by Tara McCutcheon on Jackie Young. Look at her battling. And we talked about the weight and the strength that McCutcheon has added, and that's a great possession to describe not only what she's done, but why she needs it. So if you get matched up on a Jackie Young, you know, while you're at Michigan State and she's at Notre Dame, you're able to play her for a single possession.
Barrier gets that rebound. Now she'll get it over to Johnson. Couple risky passes there. First one to haul in the corner, and that one nearly stolen away as she tried to get it back to Johnson.
Well, Thunder's been stuck on 42 for a long time offensively, about 4.5 minutes at this point. You know, we talked about having to avoid those to be able to come out with a victory. So they've got to find a way to be able to put this basketball in the basket here. Probably looking at about 8 possessions max with 2:40 left on the clock, depending on the foul situation.
Here's Burris, gets caught in the air. She'll find a lifeline in McCutcheon. Good defense being played there. Shots off the mark, it is loose. They go to the deck to get it, and it's going to be last touched by the Thunder, Jim Radball. So you see number 2, Dana Evans back in the game.
Well, got a nice long rest to come in now for the last 3 minutes and try to close this one down on the ball. Be interesting to see what they run here, if they run something primary for Young or if they let Evans play because she's fresh legs.
McLaughlin trying to put the nail in the coffin. Still a couple minutes left, but that one hurts.
Great set. Nice screen there with the offside action from Unkin to pop up. Leave Young and McLaughlin in the corners. A little help pinch down off of both of them, and it gets McLaughlin a clean look at a 3 from the corner that she knocks down.
They try to answer back with a 3-pointer there. It's off the mark. Minute 40 and counting.
Oh, great pass.
Pass by Evans, going to create an opportunity for Onken.
That's one thing Evans does so well, whether it's the open floor or the half court. Her ability to move the ball now on 2 possessions comes in, 2 fresh possessions. They get a great look at a 3, and they get a look right there underneath the rim that's going to result in 2 free throws. She'll get an assist for 1. She should get an assist for this too.
That southpaw free throw goes through to make it a 13-point game. Minute 30 mark on the clock. Barrier fakes the pass off, misses that 3 from the corner.
Well, and they've gotten, I call them West Virginia Thunder shots. They've gotten West Virginia Thunder shots. And they've gotten the shots that they live and die by, and more times than not, they live, not die. And unfortunately for them, in the last 7 minutes of gameplay, they just have not been able to knock those shots down. 3rd game of the day, and all that good stuff, and all of a sudden the range kind of leaves you a little bit. Great pass.
Eisenman with the finish inside, Burris with the assist. I'll make it 44-57. As we have a timeout here, you touched on it, man. You add up the number of games that they played over the past couple days, this being their 3rd one, and you want to continue to play hard, but the reality of it is it takes a toll.
No question. Well, then for a team that makes a lot of outside shots from a lot of different people, I think from a Jim Rant's perspective, obviously they make outside shots, but you look at the second half production, and it's really been McLaughlin who's been relied on to make shots that stretch your defense. Young, Evans, those kids have made plays going into the rim, even Unkin with a couple of takes that have resulted in free throws. West Virginia Thunder's MO as a team is being able to make those. So a lot of the times, like I know Marcus, great home run pass there for Evans, but 1 or 2 people being off, you need 3 or 4 people to be able to make shots. It's much harder math than making sure McLaughlin makes hers, and if you don't, well, you still have Young and Evans attacking and slashing and getting to the rim.
Yeah, it kind of makes me think of that Cleveland Cavaliers versus Atlanta Hawks series when you look at who's available to make shots on the Hawks side versus the cluster of contributors we've had on the Cleveland side.
No question. Good move there by Harmon to finish there at the rim. Well, in both of these programs, you look at what Scott Johnson has done with, we talked about Michael, being at Notre Dame, but Griffin Dempsey at Charlotte and Danny Riego on the other side, coached Allie Patberg, who was in the McDonald's in the Jordan game, headed to Notre Dame this year. Taya Reimer, who's playing at Notre Dame right now. So many great players that have come through both of these programs. Wouldn't expect anything less than the type of game that we just saw.
Appreciate you joining us here on SUV TV at the Midwest Showdown. I'm Marcus Burnett. He is Brandon Clay. And we will catch you back here tomorrow. Thanks for watching here on SUV TV.